Crazy Train Guy presents an Okanagan Valley Railway production. Another episode of How Did He Do That? In this episode of How Did He Do That, I'm going to show you how to make simple coal loads that are also removable. On my Okanagan Valley Railway layout, natural resources are a big part of the freight that is hauled, including coal. Here in these pictures you can see some coal loads in my Midway yard. These loads are all removable, but were made relatively simply by just using fluorofoam. So now I'm going to use a different method where I'm going to have a more firm base, and yet the loads will still be easy to remove. For my base, I'm going to use styrene. Styrene's easy to cut, and in this case, as you can see in the picture, I've cut it to the size of the open hopper that I'm going to use. So whatever car you're using, you would just simply measure it out and then test it out. Make sure that the piece will easily flip in and flip out without too much trouble. I'm going to continue to use the fluorofoam, which will go on top of the plastic. Fluorofoam is relatively cheap. In this case, I bought it at the local dollar store, and it's easy to shape and form. In this short video, I just show how easy it is to slice through the fluorofoam just by using a simple putty knife. A word of caution, be careful that you are indeed slicing a nice straight line, or this can happen.
Oh no!
In order to maximize my use of the fluorofoam, I cut it into 3 pieces. 2 of them are the shape of the coal loads to go into the hopper as I showed earlier, and the other one is a smaller piece I may be able to use on smaller open hoppers. I then take the larger piece and I divide it into 3 sections so I can effectively make a bunch of coal loads the shape of the car. And in each one, as you move forward, you can see that I cut them about 1/4 of an inch thick. And then the final piece I'm going to use for this project is in the final fold. The next step is to take the fluorofoam and size it to the car. In this case, as you can see in the first photo, it's a little bit too big, so I just cut it down to size, once again using the putty knife. Now we want to shape the fluorofoam so it resembles the coal load itself. We do that using a simple, in my case, 80 grade sandpaper. So now we have our load the shape that we want it to. And now in this second picture, you can see it sitting in the car. And it does look like not a lump of coal, but a lump of green, I guess, in this case. Now we're going to make the coal loads. We'll start with this white glue. I'll get to it later as to why you shouldn't use this cheap white glue. And also the stuff I use for coal. I got this in a dollar store a while back. I don't know if it's even still there. But it had a real good look where I thought it looked like coal. But you can use ballast or whatever. And you can color it to whatever load you're going to do, whether it's coal or copper or whatever product you're going to be hauling on your train layout. In this video, you can clearly see me struggling with this goopy, crappy glue that doesn't spread very well. And when I'm trying to put it on the fluorofoam, it actually brushed away some of the foam and that, so it got pretty messy. So at the end of the day, spend a little bit of extra money, get the Elmer's or whatever, but get the half-decent white glue. Once the glue's on, I then pour on the coal. Don't worry if you miss a couple spots, you can always go back later and patch it up. As with scenery on your train layout, I then spray on the water alcohol mix, and then I put on some diluted white glue to make sure that the load will stick better. Once the load is dry, I then test fit to make sure it fits in the car and can easily come out of the car. Once the glue is dried, you can test fit it in the car and then adjust as needed. But here you can see the finished product, Well, not quite finished. There's still some bare spots I need to fix up before I complete the load. That completes this how-to on how to make coal loads. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw and wish to see more content on model trains and real trains, please subscribe to my channel.